What up, guys? This is Ricky from Project Attraction. I'm just chilling on my couch here and I'm about to do some work on the computer, and I thought I'd shoot a little selfie video for this week, and I wanted the topic to be something a little bit more simple, so I thought I'd do it on the 5 TV shows that will make you more alpha. Now, this topic is partially inspired by the fact that I just got a new flat screen TV, which I'm stoked about. Check it out. That's the Pimp Palace new flat screen in the living room, and super stoked on it. Super cool to be able to pull chicks back to watch a movie, and yeah, enjoy it. Even though I don't recommend watching TV, I much rather have you do something more productive with your time, like going out and gaming, working on your social skills, talking to girls, working out, eating healthy, meditation to calm your mind and your jittery brain, and even reading books. I would highly recommend you read books way more than watching TV. But from time to time, after you've worked hard and been going out really all weekend or during the week, and need a time to relax, it's good to chill out for an hour or two and watch some TV. Now, I've talked about before, and it was building a positive ecosystem. You got to remember too that everything around you, you soak up like a sponge. So that being said, you want even the things you listen to, like music and TV shows, to apply into this new lifestyle you're getting to with being successful with women. So even with the TV shows that you watch, you want them to kind of be geared more toward guys that you are, how to say it, trying to achieve, like as far as like being more alpha. I remember the other day or a few weeks ago, I was actually sick, and so I was like staying in bed, and I was like, all right, I want to watch a good TV show, and I started to watch that show, How I Met Your Mother. I was like, oh, I used to watch this show like a year or two ago. It's pretty funny, and like Barney, he's a cool guy. Like he's like a little player or whatnot. So I'm like, oh, it'd be cool to watch. But as I watched it more, I just realized I couldn't resonate with it. I just couldn't relate to it, and it was just kind of obnoxious to me. It was kind of agitating because the guys were just like little beta males, just sitting there whining about their relationships, and like they would see a girl and then go hide away and be, oh, did she see me? And it was just like all these little bad behaviors that I myself have been trying to get rid of for the past like almost 3 years now. And it just like was like, no, I don't resonate with this anymore. So then I was like looking through shows. I was like, I want to find something where the lead character is more alpha and has qualities that I'm trying to obtain myself on my road to success with women. So I ended up coming across the show Peaky Blinders, which I highly recommend. Has Cillian Murphy from, if you've ever watched 28 Days Later. So the first TV show I'd recommend is Peaky Blinders. It's just a brief overview of what the show's about. It's set in the like 1918, so like 1920s in Europe, and it's right after World War I. So all the guys come home and they're just like have post-traumatic stress, and they're just like kind of trying to get back into the flow of things. And the main lead character is like a low-level gangster who is trying to rise to the ranks and is very ambitious. So I really liked his character because not only is he like very ambitious, which I like because I'm a businessman, so I try to like some of his qualities as far as that like are kind of inspiring to me. And but even in the show, just the main thing you can take away from it or learn from it is just how intentful he is. He's very much set out in his purpose. And even there's a few girls in the shows that are his romantic interest, and even how he goes after them is very just very alpha, and you can tell he's like a grounded, confident man. So you can take those little pieces away from the show. Even what is it? It's kind of cool too because all those guys, they came home from a war, so they've seen like fucked up shit and like the dark side of life, and it's really kind of like scarred them a little bit. But it makes them so they've gone through it and they survived, and so it makes them so grounded and where they don't flinch. they'll be in very intense situations, even social situations where he's making deals with other gangsters, and yet he just remains calm, keeps his cool, and gets through it. Now, how does this apply to game and success with women? Well, when learning game, you're going to go through very traumatic social experiences where maybe you open a crowd of people and you say the wrong thing and piss everyone off, and you're nervous and you're trying to get the girl, and whatever it may be. At the time, it's kind of traumatic because it can crush your ego. You can have a state crash. You don't know how to handle it. But just by remaining calm and going through experiences like that, it gives you that confidence and that groundedness, so the next time it happens, you know how to handle yourself, and you know you'll get through it. The next show I would recommend is Californication. Now, this show is about a guy who he's a writer, and he's kind of a nihilist, just doesn't give a fuck, and basically his exploits as he tries to write novels dealing with it's not his wife, but like this girl that he's been with forever, and they break up, and he has a daughter, and then kind of his sexcapades in Southern California with him banging lots of chicks. So, very applicable, can't even say the word. You can apply it to game very well. There, we'll say it that way. The take-home points from this that I really like are he's very just very blasé about the world, since he's a nihilist, and he just kind of has a don't give a fuck, live in the moment attitude. And you can really take that home with, he almost has that Han Solo kind of sarcasm when even things are like always going bad for him. He's always getting himself into trouble, and he kind of just sees the lighter side of things, doesn't take things so seriously. I even remember one time he accidentally pulls this girl, and she turns out to be like a hooker, and then he doesn't have money for it, so he not the bouncer, the pimp, her pimp comes and beats him up a little bit. I was thinking about it with me, I'm like, dude, that would suck if you got getting your ass kicked like that. It would just kind of crush your ego. But with him, he's just no big deal about it. Just kind of makes a few joking remarks, smokes his cigarette, no big deal, moves on with his life. So it's very the blasé, don't give a fuck, just it's all good, just live in the moment type attitude that you can take away with this. Now would be House of Cards. Now, Kevin Spacey, Frank Underwood in the show, is a fucking stud. Now, I want to recommend following all his characteristics, because he's supposed to be a very devilish, ambitious politician, but a lot of his social skills are very applicable, there's that word I can't say again, to game. You can apply it in game. One of the ones I would say is a commanding presence. Just how he holds himself, and how he always has a commandingness about him where everyone around him magnetizes to him, because he just holds himself so well. And even in tough social situations, even when dealing with the president, I remember there was one where I'm not sure if he was, what part of the show, if he was the vice president. I think it was even before he was the vice president. He's the House whip. And he's trying to get something passed in the Senate, and the president doesn't agree with it. And he actually out-alphas the president and tells him no. The president tells him to do something, and he's like, no. He's like, sometimes the best way is just to go forward and show him that you have the balls. So just things like that, it can show you how you can be more commanding and create a commanding presence. Also, too, I like about the show is sometimes when people are pissed at him and he needs their approval, he needs the ability to be passed or something like that, he's able to remain calm and take the heat and also deflect it and still be charming at the same time and remain calm under pressure. So very, very good qualities to kind of put into your personality to remain calm, because out in game you can deal with a bitchy girl that's freaking out, or a friend that's freaking out. And if you're able to remain calm and just kind of laugh it off while she's freaking out, you're the one that's in charge of the situation. So TV show number 4 to check out is more of a personal one. It's one of my favorites, and honestly I'm the biggest fan of it, and I don't really know anyone else that watches it. But it is DaVincis Demons, and it's on Stars. But the first season's out on DVD, and I believe the second one's coming out pretty soon too. But I really like this show because ever since I read the book Mastery by Robert Greene, which I highly recommend you check out, it compares people like Leonardo da Vinci, I believe some of the other greats like Mozart, Darwin, all these people in history that you know about, but you've heard of, but maybe don't really know their life story. He goes into and kind of shows the overlaying patterns of how they became masters in their own field within like a 10-year period, and the similarities in their life, the opposition they had to overcome. A lot of it was with family and having to like leave their family behind, or like their family died or something happened, but how tragedy pushed them toward greatness. But after that book, it was really inspiring because it kind of shows you like a journey, and as you're becoming successful with women, you are taking a journey, and you'll get better and better over time and have better experiences and more adventures and make more friends and all kinds of benefits, become a greater man in the process. So it's a really good book to read. But because of that book, I really like the character of, Leonardo da Vinci in history. I thought he was a fascinating person. I didn't know too much about him, and the book kind of helped me show more about him in his life. So that the show DaVincis Demons goes into his life, and it's more fictionalized. There's a really cool fiction story that goes with it that's exciting and more fantasy-like. But they're able to take the real characteristics of the actual person and put him into the show. And I like it because I think he's supposed to be 25 in his show, and he's kind of in his prime. And he's just brilliant. He's ahead of his time for sure. And he's kind of has that Han Solo swagger to him, where he's like very cocky and full of himself. And he really pushes the limits of the time period, which is the Renaissance. And they call him the Renaissance man because he pushed in so many different directions where the society wouldn't go, and the church was very controlling. So the take-home point from that show and that character, Leonardo da Vinci, is that of being a renegade. Now, even though we live in, it's 2015, and sex is more open, I would say more than ever, getting success with women, you're still going to face opposition with people that are going to be like, oh, you're just a player, and you're just being manipulative, and they don't, like, a lot of people won't understand why you're doing this, and the fact that, like, you want to bang tons of girls because it's fun and makes you a better guy and pushes yourself and you develop yourself because of it. A lot of people aren't going to resonate with that. They're going to be like, this is weird, this is creepy, this is cultish, whatever it is. But because of that, you're going to have to learn to deal with that opposition. And if you take it seriously and I'm always fighting on it, it's going to be a tough road for you. So you got to learn to kind of like be more blasé about it and just be like, yeah, like what I'm doing is pretty weird, but you know what, fuck it. Like, I'm going to die anyway, so might as well live life on my terms, right? And in that show, Leonardo da Vinci, yes, he's like a bastard son, and a lot of the things he does are very shocking and taboo for the time. So a lot of people are opposing him. So you can pick up the kind of the characteristics of being a renegade, like, yeah, I am going for my own life. And because he lives such a renegade life, he gets a reputation, and actually he gets respect from people higher up for pushing the boundaries of society. So you can take that home with you as far as the takeaway is of being a renegade and living life on your own terms and not letting society dictate how you should live your life and before you die. So these are the take-home points. I hope this helped. Just a little change up. Everyone's always giving up pick up advice and books and stuff, but we all watch TV too, so might as well find some TV shows that will help you out and fucking women. So let me know what your top shows are and shows with lead alpha characters and that have helped maybe you with your self-development of becoming a guy who gets laid. So let me know. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like this video, share it with your friends and let them know that there's videos like this out there. Until next time.